What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Seton Hill Studios. Hope you're having an amazing day out there so far. Today, we are checking out some John Mayer in the song Covered in Rain. This is a live version from 2019. To my knowledge, there is no studio version of this. The first time I heard it was maybe like 20 plus years ago when he released the Any Given Thursday DVD, and I didn't know that he was just an insane guitar player until I heard this, and I was like, wow, he's not just a pop star. He's like actually a killer guitar player. So I haven't heard it in a long time. I've never heard this live version. Try to find a recent one just to see, how much has he improved or what does he do differently after almost 20 years of doing the song. I think it was like back in like 2002 or 2003. So I'm excited to hear this version and check it out. But before we get into it, a few ways you guys can continue to support the channel. Right down below, you can hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's an easy and free way to show some love. You can also head on over to Patreon and become a member there. If that doesn't work for you, right here on YouTube, you can become a channel member. Both of those are going to get you access to priority requests, as well as other perks and features. And then, as always, with a one-time donation through Buy Me a Coffee, you can get a guaranteed request either Steven or I will check out right here on the channel. All right, y'all, let's get into it. All right, folks, here we go. John Mayer, Covered in Rain, live at the Forum in Inglewood from 2019. I love this song, and I'm super excited to hear this live version of it and see if it's any different after 20 years. Let's go. See, the crowd already knows what's up. It's so smooth, man.
These days with the world getting colder, she spends more time sleeping over than I delay. Tonight we're gonna order in, drinking wine and watching CNN. It's dark, I know, but then again, it's the brightest thing I get when I'm covered in rain. When I'm covered in rain.
Ooh, I love that harmony there. Hey, the band he had with him like 20 years ago was killer, but this group that he's got with him nowadays, oh my gosh, man, they are so good. I saw John Mayer live in concert. Golly, it was probably, I don't know, 15 years ago. And man, he absolutely crushed it back then. He's still crushing it now. He's managed to stay relevant and with it for so long. And some of it is because he's like a musical chameleon. Like he's not necessarily genre specific. I mean, people know him as a pop star or a really good blues guitar player, but he's done so much not to stay relevant. That's not what I'm trying to say, but because of his ability and his talent, he has stayed relevant because he can do whatever he wants. And his live shows are always killer. The band that he's got is just freaking fantastic. The groove on this song, man, it's like just easy listening, just such a cool groove. And I know he's going to crush this guitar solo coming up. Man, I can't wait to hear it. Whew.
Fireworks to fireplaces, so much slow with all the places at night. Now with people watching, all the people watching us bright at night. I'm sitting right in this inside at the CVS by the checkout line. She puts her quiet hands in mine, 'cause she's the brightest thing I got.
He's honestly, dude, he's such a good lyricist too. Like, who writes a song and it's oh, I'm in the CVS at the checkout line. Like that's some real people stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not stuff that you just hear just in like a popular song nowadays. But I think that's super cool. It's like super relatable as well. And then the line and the phrasing of how he says, people watching us right back. The phrasing of that and just the lyrics of it, it's top tier. Ah, man. He's he's so good, man.
Puts her quiet hands in mine, 'cause she's the brightest thing I got. And I'm counted in the
I love that ultra wide LED wall too.
I'm counted in the
That harmony, man, I love that.
I'm counted in the when I'm counted in the when I'm counted in.
Woo! There's so much you can do, man. It seems so simple, right? Like he's just walking back and forth between two major seventh chords, right? But with just those two things to go off of, even if it was just like regular triads, it would give you a decent bed to work with. But when you're working with the major seventh, there's so many cool things that you can do with like the half step bends and things that he's doing. And man, he just worked that solo. And I mean, his tone is out of this world, right? So it looked like he had a 3 amp setup at this concert. He had a 2 rock back there. He had a PRS amp back there. And then I'm assuming that was a steel string singer Dumble back there. That's what it looked like. And his tone is just, God bless, man. Obviously, and he's talked about being like super inspired and influenced by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And you can tell in the playing and the vibrato and the bends, you can tell in the tone, but yet he's still he's his own individual as well. He's not just a Stevie Ray Vaughan clone. But after hearing some more Stevie Ray Vaughan here lately on the channel and stuff, like I can definitely hear the influence more, I think, than I did in the past because I hadn't really listened to a ton of Stevie Ray Vaughan. But man, imagine not knowing that he was a really good guitar player. So like this was me like 20-ish years ago when Any Given Thursday came out. It's like, oh yeah, what was the song? What was the album? Room for Squares, I think was the album. And I'm like, oh yeah, Why Georgia and all these other songs. I'm like, man, these are really good songs. Then I hear him play guitar and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like actually insane and not just a really good songwriter. And oh man, this solo ain't over. They're breaking it down a little bit. So I'm gonna try not to interrupt the solo. It just seemed like a good spot to kind of take a breath because he's probably gonna take us on a whole other ride right here. Oh man. They are locked in, dude. Great use of the volume swell there, man.
Come December, Lily, she mentioned something about it being for the best. And I can't say I disagree, that's killing me. Now I'm standing facing west, tracing my fingers round a silhouette that I haven't gotten used to yet. But it's the brightest thing I got when I'm covered in rain.
This song just grooves, man.
When I'm covered in rain, rain, rain. Oh, when I'm covered in rain. Oh, when I'm covered in rain. And all the subconscious pain.
Hey, that second solo, man, when he broke it down and it just got like so dynamic. He's playing with his fingers, he's doing the volume swell stuff, you know, walking that bass line around while hitting the same note up top was just it was such a good solo. He hit one note in there that might be considered wrong, but yet somehow made it work. So my dad, when I was younger and I was first getting into playing guitar, he taught me one rule about music, specifically guitar and fretted instruments, that stuck with me for all these years. And John Mayer just demonstrated it perfectly there. My dad told me when I was first getting into things, he said, look, you're only ever one fret away from the right note if you play something wrong. You can slide back, you can slide up, you can bend up, and you will get to what is right, and it'll sound intentional or emotional or like you've got feel. And so that stuck with me for a long time because I mean, like right there, like he hit a note, wasn't the best note, but he immediately got somewhere that it was supposed to be, and it almost sounded like a tension and release kind of thing going on, which, you know, that's a musical concept that people use, maybe not necessarily in that context exactly, but he made it work and it was killer. And I'm still talking about it. The solo, you know, it's been a couple of minutes. I heard the solo, but that stuck out to me is he didn't just get frustrated or like, oh, I hit a clunker. Like, no, he worked it in. And that's what true musicians do is they can take a mistake and make it sound musical. And, you know the other saying, like, there's no wrong notes. It's just jazz, right? Just kidding. No, I know jazz is real. I know jazz is difficult. It's just a little joke. So no hate. All right, let's ride this out. Whew. Man, this is better than I remember it, honestly. Whew. Man, hey, I don't know. I may have to go back and watch the original version that I heard from like 2002 or 2003. But my gosh, man, he's incredible, dude. He such a good singer, such a good lyricist, such a good writer, such a good guitar player. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. Like he's just legit, man. He's so awesome. I love getting to see him play. Well, shoot, y'all. That just made me want to go back on a John Mayer binge, man. I really can't get enough of that dude. I love all of his records. He's incredible live. He's just he's just a total package, man. He really does blow me away when he picks up the guitar. I mean, if you've ever tried to learn some of his stuff, you realize how incredibly difficult it is. It sounds simple sometimes, but what he's doing usually is not. And then you throw in the fact that he sings over top of it, and it's just like, man, you can't help but respect the dude. He is incredibly, incredibly talented. That solo, it was killer, man. That's the tone. There's a lot of guitar players that get a tone very similar to that, and I love 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 that tone, man. Obviously I'm not sitting around with Dumbles and Two Rocks and PRS amps, but my goodness, man, he's so good. He could probably take a little practice amp and make it sound like that, though, honestly, because he's just got it. All right, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so every time we drop new content, you guys can be made aware. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.